Here hanging out with my buddy Smiling Sam Alvey.
Hello, one and all. I'm glad to be on. How you doing, my friend?
I'm thriving, man. I'm doing great. Good to catch up. It's been a while for you guys listening to us. I know it's been a few weeks. We tried to get together and do one of these, but Sam, we had some issues.
Yeah, my daughter, the rotten kid, came in, unplugged my computer, deleted everything. She did it on purpose.
Yeah, so I think this is why Sam's going to be announcing that he's got a kid for sale.
Yes, yes, she'll go cheap too. She's adorable. She's
Yeah,
adorable.
and the bottom dollar. I mean, yeah. So one child up for sale who likes to unplug computers. So no, it's all good. I'd like to say it was a good one. So hopefully we'll be able to recreate that magic here. But Sam, a lot of stuff to talk about. But before we get into it all in the MMA world, we could tell the nice people about our sponsor.
Yes, our sponsor, Perfect Tan. They are a delightful tanning company here in Southern California. They've sponsored me for years, and they jumped on board to the Just Smile podcast with us, and we're just thrilled. They are the highest class, nicest tanning facility you could ever wish to go to. They've got red light therapy. They've got spray tans. They've got the regular tanning booths. They got a little bit of everything. And they've got a great attitude. The owner, Brian, he loves MMA, and he's actually fought a time or two also. He's better at jiu-jitsu than I am. But anyways, he just loves it. And his booth, his tanning supplies is just the best there's been. So if y'all get a chance, you should stop in and see Perfect Tan if you're in the Southern California area.
Perfect Tan. Check them out. They're nice enough to sponsor us and sponsor Sam. So that's going to be the place to check out for all those needs. Sam, one thing that we talked about last week that didn't wind up making it to the public was the big news of the day was of the week, I should say, was Conor announcing his retirement. So I guess we should probably touch on that a little bit. Nothing really has come up, I guess, since in the last week, really, has it, that you've seen?
Not too much, but this morning, well, for those of you listening, it's April 1st. I know it's not April 1st when you're listening because it'll probably be April 2nd, but it's April 1st. That's a day of many jokes. Mm-hmm. So I was scrolling through my feed and came across the thing, and the guy was doing an interview about how Conor McGregor guy was drunk and beat up Dana White in a casino. And I made it halfway through. I'm like, no way, man, this kid. And then I started piecing this. Oh, he's gonna pull an April Fool's. And at the end, none of it was true.
Yeah,
jerk off. But he had me going there for a second. I'm glad I didn't retweet or anything.
You know what? I used to love this day, and now as I've gotten older and apparently more gullible, I hate April 1st now, man. I hate April Fool's Day because every time I read something, I'm just worried that it's gonna be fake. And I have to check 1,000 times. They dropped a really cool movie trailer today for a cool zombie movie called The Dead Don't Die or something like that. And it's got a ton of famous actors in it. Think of a famous actor, they're probably in it, just a ton. And I'm like, this has got to be fake. It's got to be fake. They released the trailer and it looks awesome. And then I went and looked up and it's not. It's real. They just happened to drop the trailer on April 1st.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah, so I'm really, really excited to see that, but I was super, super skeptical of it. So the heck with April 1st. But yes, Conor McGregor announced his retirement. I guess we should talk about it, Sam. Do you think it's gonna is it gonna stick? Is he actually gonna stay retired, or is he gonna fight again?
He's gonna fight again. I've been thinking about it a lot since last week, and he's gonna fight again. He's blowing through his money with these lawsuits. He keeps breaking phones and molesting people, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly, and he's just throwing dollies through buses and this. He's got to be burning through money, and he's not working, and he's young. I think he bought a yacht, and the rumor on the street is he enjoys explicit materials every now and then, and so he's got to be blowing through it. But the nice thing about him is if he does blow through it, he can mature, and then he'll fight again, make $15 million, and then be good with that.
Yeah, he definitely can make money. So I think he will fight again. I don't know when that will be, and I actually don't think he's going to run through too much of his money, just because that whiskey of his is actually making him a ton of money. So I don't, and I think he's going to be able to parlay his success into other stuff too. So I think he's going to be okay on the money front. Heck, if Floyd Mayweather can still have money, like I think Conor will be all right. Although Floyd has a lot more money to start with, but he obviously he notoriously spends his money like insane. So I do think that that Conor will fight again, but I think it's just going to be one of those things where they get a deal done to fight in Ireland in a football stadium, and that's the only way they're going to get Conor to fight again. I think huge venue, huge opponent, gigantic payday. I don't think Conor's coming out for just nothing. And it should be noted that it came less than 24 hours before the news about his potential alleged sexual misconduct came out. And Sam, you kind of called it, didn't you?
Oh, I did. I called that. I read that and immediately. I said it. I tweeted it. I said, "Hey, so he's going to be in the headlines a lot more in the next week." And like 4 hours later, he was. I was so proud of myself. Literally patted myself on the back.
It's impressive.
It was a moment I had with myself.
Yeah, well, yeah. You know what? Everyone's allowed to have a moment with themselves. Sam, if you use yours to pat yourself on the back, that's your prerogative.
It was, and prerogative I did.
So I guess, yeah, let us know your guys' thoughts on the McGregor situation. Is he going to stay retired? It seems to be overwhelmingly people do not think he's going to stay retired. So I guess it's just we're gonna have to just wait and see what goes on that front. We did have some fights this last weekend, Sam. Did you get to check out any of them?
I saw some of them, but what I really watched was the Bellator card, which was way better.
Okay, awesome. What happened on the Bellator card?
Well, the Bellator card, it was just a lot of fun. There were a lot of good fights. Well, my boy Ricky Ferrar, he won. So he won he was one of the black fights. So he was the prelims, but the prelims happened
after the main event.
Yeah. And so he won that just dominating performance. He's the world's strongest man. You should all know that. He's at Iron Monkey on Instagram. And he's 130. He's 135 pounds. He should fight 125 pounds, but he's as strong as I am. Like literally, he can lift every bit of weight that I can, and it's ridiculous. But he had a good fight. But then Dave Rickles, he came out with a big honor to Stone Cold, and so I took a picture. And Stone Cold Instagram tweeted it or whatever they're doing nowadays. He redid it, and he said, "Hell yeah!" I said, "Yes." And it's so much. In the main event, Sadawad versus Grits. What a fun fight that was.
Yeah, it was a good one.
The fight was so much fun. And Saad lost, but he gained a lot of fans with that one.
Yeah, he's always a good show. He always goes out and puts on a good fight. Yeah, there were some good fights on that card. Daniel Strauss came back and got a win. He was out. A lot of people know he was on Joe Rogan's podcast talking about it. He was in a terrible motorcycle accident a couple years ago, and he hadn't fought for a while. And he went out and knocked the dude he fought out.
Yeah, they had like tied records. One was 24-4, and the other was 12-2.
Yeah.
And he went on there and just wrecked him.
A couple other fights. You had one of their welterweight hotshots, Andrei Koreshkov fought. I did not get to see that fight, Sam. How did he look?
He looked great. At least I think. I got to remember which one the Koreshkov is.
He fought a dude with a beard. He's like the Russian looking dude. He's a good Taekwondo guy. I don't know if I didn't see the fight, so I can't really describe what happened. But he won by decision.
Yeah. Was that co-main event?
It was the one right before the co-main. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the co-main.
Co-main. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't get to watch it much either because that's right when I'm finishing warming up my guy.
Okay.
We warm up early the first time, and then we break the lungs later in the night, and we were getting our first little sweat in.
I forget that they fight after the main event. It's so weird.
Because we're on the West Coast. This is something interesting for everyone. Because we're on the West Coast, Bellator has all their prelims after the main event, or most of their prelims after. I think there were 2 before. But Bellator, they can't fill, and I love Bellator. It's not saying anything bad, but they can't fill an arena like the UFC can. So the arena is filled with the people from the prelims. They fill the arena, and then people get to watch the main card. And slowly it'll grow until people are coming to watch the main card more than they are the prelims. But that's their side. But here, because of the TV deal, the West Coast is earlier than the rest of the country. They they have to air it the exact right time so it's early enough for everyone else, and then they just put the prelims afterwards.
Yeah, it's wild. I kind of always wonder why they did that, and that makes sense. But kind of crazy that they do that. But yeah, Koreshkov wins. Joe Schilling fought Keith Berry. It's one of your buddies, right?
He is. And Keith got beat up a little bit, at least in the third round. Real competitive first and second round, back and forth. And round three, Keith Berry was in mount, doing damage, and he got swept, just a little sweaty. They're sweaty and greasy and all that. He got swept. And Schilling, as bad as he looks on the ground, his elbows could cut steel.
Yeah.
He beat the tar out of Keith in the last 3 minutes of the third round. All the damage in the fight came then, and Keith it was like 4 lacerations, and he was swollen, this and that. His elbows, you could tell he's trained those.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
sharpened those.
Yep, world champion Muay Thai fighter. He's been in some watching some of his kickboxing fights are really fun. He was in that Glory tournament, one of the most infamous ones where they did it like a big one night tournament. He had to fight 2 or 3 times in one night. I remember watching. It was crazy. It was a crazy tournament. But yeah, his MMA career's kind of been up and down. But and I know Keith's a tough veteran, been around for a long time, been in a lot of fights, and so anytime you can get a win over a guy like that, it's a good win. So
you know, funny thing about Joe Schilling, I didn't know this till that night, but he's a heavy chain smoker.
Yes, he is. Yep.
Yes, and so we were at the casino. He was down by the elevators, just puffing away like, I don't know, 20 minutes till his fight. And he's, hey, you can't smoke there. He said, oh, okay. And then he just kind of finished his cigarette and walked away.
Yep.
Yeah, Joe.
It's crazy. Yeah, he talked about that on Rogan's podcast a while back, and got like, yeah, everyone was like, what? Because he said during that Glory tournament, he was between fights, he was out back smoking. I was like, that's insane, man. Like, how do you have cardio and still like smoke that much? It's wild. I don't know.
It was crazy. During the fight, he looked tired after round 1, but then round 2 and 3, he didn't look tired at all. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's got something like 60 pro kickboxing fights or something like that. So he's, just one of those things that's probably muscle memory at this point.
Yeah.
Breathing.
Yeah.
Breathing and fighting, the two things that his body knows how to do. So that was and your guy. How did your guy Ricky do? I'm not sure if you said or if I caught it.
Yeah. He dominated. Like I said, world's strongest man, picked him up, slammed him a few times, fought off a ton of arm bars. Just couldn't get out of the guy's guard, but ended up cutting the guy's eyelid, punched him in the eyelid round 2, and the doctor stopped it, wouldn't let round 3 happen.
Dang, big cut stops the fight. That's a good way to win.
Yeah, it was a gnarly cut, and it was funny. It didn't bleed. I mean, not really. And I didn't know there was a cut until they stopped it. I went in and asked the guy, "Hey, why'd this?" And he blinked, and I saw and said, "Oh God!" You almost see through his eyelid.
Yick. So, yeah, man. Well, good. Congrats to Ricky. Hopefully he can get back in and fight again. Some other news that popped out today, Sam, friend of the podcast, Chris Curtis, signed with the Professional Fight League. He's going to be fighting in their tournament.
Yeah, I saw. He'll be fighting in the 170. It's a stacked division. I think he has to win one fight, and then he's in the tournament, I believe. But,
okay.
So does everybody else. But I remember last year that was their most stacked division.
Yeah, I'm trying to PFL welterweights.
Jake Shields was in it. Wasn't John Fitch in it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of tough guys here. Ray Cooper. Let me look welterweight bracket. But let's see if they pulled it up yet. Who's the guy? The guy that won it was like not expected to win, I think, or maybe he was. Okay, so here's who was in it last year. Ray Cooper, I think he's the guy who wound up winning it. Jake Shields, Rick Story, former UFC guy, and Henderson Ferreira. He's a Brazilian guy. Don't know him. Magomed Kamarov. One of those Magomeds from Russia. Pablo Kush. And then a couple European dudes. And yeah. So interesting. It's I don't know how many of those guys are back for this year's. Because I don't know if they have it up for the
for $1 million. I'd have to imagine a lot of them are coming back.
I would assume so as well. Yes, I think you're right. View selections. Oh, here we go. Let's see if the 2019 PFL roster. Sorry, I'm sure this is thrilling for you guys listening. Right?
Thrilling. No, it'll be good. I really like this tournament, and I liked how they had
it is
real
cool.
money behind it. As much as I loved the Bellator tournament when they were doing those, it was grand prize of $100,000. This is a grand prize of 10 times that.
Sorry. John Doomsday Howard, former UFC guy.
Wait,
David
is that
Michaud.
the wife beater guy?
I don't think so, but I guess I don't know for sure.
I
that I don't know. John Howard, he's a Boston guy, trained at Sijitong for a long time. I don't know what one of his notable wins would be in the UFC, but been around for a long time. Let's see who else is. I don't know who Zane Kamaka is. Joao Zeferino, he's a Brazilian guy. I know he's a black belt. That's an interesting one. Glyco Franca, another Brazilian black belt. Chris Curtis, he's right there. There he is, the action man. Right next to Magomed Kamirov, who was a finalist last year, and then Ray Cooper III, Hawaiian dude. So Lewis Taylor, that's the guy that won last year. He was a big underdog, and I want to say he won the $1 million, but anyways, yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I agree. I think it's a very, very cool tournament that they've got set up, and $1 million is like, obviously everybody wants to fight for that. So, and I think honestly, depending on the matchups, Chris Curtis has got a good chance to win it.
Yeah, he's very talented, and he's got a lot of potential victims in this tournament.
Yep. So good luck to him. Good luck to Chris Curtis. So the UFC fights. Not a lot to talk about outside the main event, probably. Main event was Barboza versus Gaethje, which was fun while it lasted. Didn't last long. Gaethje caught Barboza with a big right. Barboza kind of fell victim to what happens to him a lot. He's not great at working his way off the cage. He kind of backs the same way out with his hands down every fight, and Gaethje must have watched a lot of tape because he was ready for it and caught him with a big punch.
Yeah, it happens. I did notice that almost all of our predictions were wrong. But nobody will know it because it got deleted. So
yeah, what are you talking about, Sam? I was right on every single one of them, down to the second.
Anybody. Yeah.
we had both picked Barboza, and I honestly think had Barboza really tried to keep the fight in the center of the cage, he would have been okay. But like in most of his fights, he allowed himself to be backed up to the fence, and that's where he gets in trouble a lot of times.
Yeah, rotten guy. He killed my DraftKings. My DraftKings did terrible again. Man, I did so well when I first started. I put $25 in. I got that up to like $75. Now I'm down to like $4. I have $4 left.
and then I have to start selling more kids.
Yes, more kids.
You got to keep having them so you can keep selling them.
Yeah, and I got to keep them healthy too, so they're fully functioning. I don't want to be selling, knockoff kids.
You know what returns on these things? Listen, this one won't mow the yard. They complain too much. That's funny. But yeah, so Gaethje gets the win. Big win for Gaethje. They won fight of the night, and I think Gaethje gets a performance tonight too. So I think he walked away with a lot of money. So big win.
I wish I won a lot of money.
Yeah, that would be really nice. One surprising one, co-main event, Jack Hermanson subs David Branch, the Renzo Gracie black belt, in 49 seconds.
Couldn't believe that. But although the best part about it, all last week in my cage tactics class, I was working that guillotine, that Armin guillotine, and he did it. He did it better than I could do it, and I was teaching it. All my students, they hit me up on Twitter and Instagram and said, "Oh my God, Sam, you were right." I said, "Yeah, I was. Don't ever doubt me. I know stuff." Not just
impressive
face guys.
Yeah, he's not. He knows his crap. Impressive win, man. I mean, it wasn't too long ago people were talking about David Branch getting a title shot potentially. He's got a stoppage win over the guy who's about to fight John Jones for the light heavyweight title in Thiago Santos. So I mean, David Branch. He I don't want to say has fallen from grace, but his stock is not quite as high as it was at one point, and I think a lot of people are maybe suggesting that he head back to the PFL and try to win that $1 million because he was great when he was in the PFL. He was kicking everybody's butt.
Oh, it was. He beat my buddy Jesse Taylor in like a minute flat.
He's
good. He did very well over there. So I was excited when he came to the UFC. I thought, ooh, this guy's going to be good. And he almost, I mean, if you remember, his debut was against Luke Rockhold, and he almost won that. He
Yeah.
was so close to knocking Rockhold out, and then did he gas or Rockhold caught him? It was one of the two.
I think it was a mixture of both. Rockhold just it wasn't like he knocked him out cold. It was like a verbal submission to punches or something like that. It was just he just overwhelmed him. Um, he's had an interesting career. Dave Branch has, because he fought in the UFC once before, like back in like 2010. He fought like twice in the UFC, and he was on the receiving end of one of the craziest slam knockouts I've ever seen. Gerald Hurricane Harris. He tried to triangle him, and he just picked him up and just power bombed him and knocked him out. And then he got cut, and he fought. And before it was the Professional Fighter League, it was World Series of Fighting, and he was. I just looked at his record in the World Series of Fighting. He was undefeated. He went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 0 in World Series of Fighting, and with wins over Vinny Magalhaes, Yushin Okami,
Know he beat Vinny.
Jesse Taylor, Paulo Filho, Danilo Villafort, a lot of really good fighters. Has some really good wins, and then just hasn't had a great run in the UFC. He beat Chris Yotko by split decision, lost to Rockhold, beat Thiago Santos, then he's lost his last two. Jared Cannonier knocked him out, and Hermanson subbed him in a minute. So I don't know what his contract situation is, or if he's up for an extension, or if he's looking to leave the UFC. But I'll tell you what, his record was much better when he was fighting over in the World Series of Fighting / PFL.
Yeah, I wonder if he made more money there, if he's making more money at the UFC. I'd really be curious to ask him.
Yeah,
or have somebody else ask him.
Yeah, someone who knows him well and wouldn't feel awkward saying, "How much money do you make?"
How much money did you make then and now?
Yeah, exactly. Give me detailed descriptions, please. But yeah, the winner of those tournaments should be good. My only problem with the PFL is it's hard to watch sometimes. Like not like the quality, like finding it. Like I never know what channel it's on. It was always hard to find.
Yeah, I always ended up streaming it. It was always on Facebook. They'd always stream it on Facebook, and that's usually where I saw it. But now I'm off Facebook for the most part, and so now I'll figure it out. My dad, he watched it. He watched it pretty religiously. He could always find it, and if my dad can find it, I'm sure I'm sure you can do it too.
It's a good point. Well, I think they signed the thing with ESPN, right? So now they're going to be on ESPN2 or their streaming service, the ESPN Plus or whatever. So yeah, it'll be good, I think, and it's going to be like every Thursday. It's really actually smart the way they set it up. They're doing it on like Thursday nights on ESPN Plus, their streaming service. So it's going to be really, really good. When are they doing the welterweights?
Probably June will be the first fight to get in the tournament.
May 9th, it says welterweights fight.
Okay.
Well, there's two of them. Okay, so the first welterweights fight May 9th. The second welterweight fight is July 11th.
Okay. Well,
so I don't.
June was. I was wrong about June.
Yeah, you idiot.
I feel so ashamed.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, very, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So, yeah, it'll be a fun one to watch. There's a lot of former UFC guys, a lot of former Bellator guys, names that everybody knows in the tournament. So, should be a good one. And now that it's being able to be seen through ESPN, I think it's going to get a lot better ratings than, because it was on like NBC Sports or something like that, and like I didn't have the channel, so I'd have to log into their app to watch it, but the app crashed 1,000 times. It was like a pain in the butt. So. Ugh. Yeah, a lot easier to watch now on an ESPN property. So
yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
I started watching on Netflix. It was an old one, but it just popped across my queue. Speaking of which, where did the term "Q" come from?
It's British. It's British. I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
So that came across. It was the new Halo Legends. So I watched that because my kids were around. I said, we'll give it a shot. And it got me rehooked on Halo, so I went out and bought the Master Chief Edition. And so now I'm going to work my way through all 5 Halo games.
Oh, yep.
I got so jazzed watching this. Cartoons weren't even that great. They're all right, but every time I heard the deep singing, I needed.
Yeah, no, Halo's the best. Halo's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I've seen those 1,000 times on there. I've never watched them. So, so watch out for Sam on Halo. Kicking it back old school.
Yeah, man, it's old. The game I got is got all four games in it, and it was
Nice.
made in 2014. So
Yeah, I remember playing the original Halo on the original Xbox. It was good times. Good times, man. Halo's the best.
yeah,
Uh,
that was a good one.
yeah, you should teach your kids to play just so you can beat them terribly in it.
Oh, no, I'm trying to keep my kids off that.
That's probably smart.
I'm trying to keep them off all video games.
As you play, you're like, don't look at this.
It is hard to do. Every
Yeah,
now and then, I just want to play.
yeah. No, that's probably a smart thing, but it's funny as you're buying a video game, you're like, you guys know,
No,
but I do
these are
it.
bad.
These are bad. Look how addicted Daddy is. You haven't showered in 3 days, Sam. Uh, must beat that. What's the bad people called? The flood or the horde or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Must beat the flood. That's amazing. I haven't really watched too much of anything new lately. I've been in a hole. I need suggestions, but I know I still have Umbrella Academy to watch. I have not watched it yet. So
Oh, you have to do it.
yeah, I've got it. I've got it in my queue. It's ready to go. I just need to start it. Is the thing. So maybe I'll get started on that this week. And
Beware, as soon as you start it, it's gonna be that's all you got. It's gonna
oh,
be you're gonna be watching all of it.
I'll finish it, and then I'll want more, like an addict.
Oh man, I'm jonesing hard. Oh, you know what else is out, and I can't watch it yet because I don't like watching stuff 1 week at a time. But if any of you guys get a chance to watch the show Happy, it's on Sci-Fi, and it's about an imaginary donkey unicorn thing. Patton Oswalt's his voice. This show, season 1 is on Netflix. You should watch that. It was it was such a delight. Season 2 just started, but it's every week on Sci-Fi, so I'm gonna watch it in 10 weeks on my cheap box on my Fire Stick.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it was the biggest surprise I'd ever had.
I heard it's really good. I have not watched it.
Oh, it's fantastic! Don't watch it with your kid's young, so maybe don't watch it with your kids though. It's it's not kid appropriate. I actually couldn't believe it was on Sci-Fi.
It's pretty. I don't want to say raunchy, but adult.
Yeah, no, raunchy is a good word. Raunchy and violent, and it's all drug and alcohol, and it's wonderful.
Sounds right up my alley. Drugs and alcohol, eh?
Hey,
All right, yeah, I'll have to. All right, well, I'll add that to the queue. Old Happy and Umbrella Academy. So now I've got a couple things to watch. That's good.
yeah.
Just a few weeks till the new Avengers, Sam, the last one.
I'm looking forward to it. Well, the last one till the next one.
Yeah, the last one till the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now I'm looking forward to it. Um, uh, I'll probably be there. I'm sure I'll be there opening day. We might go down. I don't know if they have them by you. It's probably still too cold, but we have drive-ins up here, up by
Yeah.
me. So we'll be probably driving in for it. It's the cheapest way for us to see movies.
Yeah, with your whole clan. Yeah, I can imagine. Going to see movies is expensive. So, yeah, no, we've got a couple drive-ins around here. Probably not as many as where it's nice all the time, but yeah. So that's good. Yeah, that's kind of the next big movie that I'm excited for. But I know that I will be out there seeing that, and also Shazam looks outstanding too. So
It does look pretty good. Yeah, it does. Shazam and Spider-Man. Spider-Man Around the World or Spider-Man.
yeah, Far From Home or something like that. Yeah,
Far From Home. Yeah,
sounds
that looks pretty good too.
that'll be a good one too. So. All right, Sam. Well, I was trying to look up to see if there's anything in the world of MMA we missed, but it's April Fool's Day and everything I'm reading is bullshit. So I don't believe anything I'm reading. So I guess we'll just have to wait till next week to have some more stories for the people. I know that a bunch of fights got announced, so we'll talk about that next week. But anything else you wanted to go over?
No, I think that just about got it. Look me up for Smash Bros, guys. Look me up for Halo, guys. I'll beat all of you.
And he'll be sending his kids out of the room so they can't see him play video games when he does
Can't
it.
see me playing anything.
Amazing. Yeah. Find Sam on all social media at Smiling Sam. You can get in contact with us that way, ask us questions, listen to the show. So until next week, Sam.
Hey, keep riding with it low, my friends.